Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Fourth Presbyterian Church here in Chicago, Illinois. My name is Emma Cox. I am the music department manager, and it is such a delight to have each and every one of you here with us today. It is the most beautiful Friday, whether you're here in person or online back home. If you could take a moment and just silence your cell phones, we're going to do some house cleaning is what I call it. On the very front, you'll see your program. If you flip that to the back, you can take a look at some of the upcoming performances that we're going to be having in the next month. Next week's artist is Haijin Sho. She is sponsored by the Musicians Club of Women, which is the oldest professional musical organization here in Chicago. They're celebrating 150 years this year. So Haijin won a ton of awards. She actually won the right to perform next week as part of a competition. I'm very excited about her program, so I would highly encourage you guys to please tune in for that. If you open on the inside, you can find the bio of our interim director of music, who is making his noonday performance here. This is his premiere. We're very excited about Doug. If you'd like to take videos and pictures of the artist as he is performing, either upstairs or down here on the monitor, please feel free to do so. Share them on social media. Tag the artist, but please remain seated as you take those videos and pictures. We don't want to interfere with anybody else's views. Make sure your cell phones are on silent one more time, and please put your hands together for Dr. Douglas Cleveland.
Thank you very much. It's been such a joy and privilege to serve as the interim musician here at Fourth. I arrived in October, so I've been here 4.5 months, and it's been such a pleasure to play this magnificent pipe organ built by the Quimby Company out of Missouri. Today I'm going to be highlighting music of the French and German Baroque, juxtaposed with 21st century music composed in the last 10 to 15 years. The first piece I will be playing is highlighting the French Baroque, Louis Marchand. Louis Marchand was born in Lyon, France, which is France's second largest city to Paris. His first post was in Nevers, at the Cathedral of Nevers in France, and then he took the prestigious post as court organist for Louis XIV in Versailles. And it's here where he wrote this Grand Dialogue in C major. It will be highlighting the fiery French reeds of the organ, the cornet stops. I will be doing the duo with highlighting the cornet, accompanied by the reed stops of the organ, the crumhorns, and then back to the fiery reeds of the grand jeu, which is a typical French Baroque style and kind of registration. And then we will go to the north of Germany, to Dietrich Buxtehude's city of Lübeck, where he served most of his career at the St. Mary's Church, a Lutheran church in the very northern part of Germany. This is the famous church where Johann Sebastian Bach walked 250 miles to hear the famous Buxtehude perform on this magnificent organ. The preludium, also, like the French Baroque music of the time, goes through the organ in different sections. So you will hear this beginning style, which is in the Stilus Fantasticus style, which is the fantastic style of the North German, very improvisatory and spontaneous, of the plenum sounds of the organ, the principals and the mixtures. And then it will go into a fuguetta, a very small fugue with a consort registration, much like a Renaissance band. And then back to the opening statement sounds of the preludium, plenum sounds of the organ. The next piece by Johann Sebastian Bach is from his early life as a composer. He wrote the fantasy or the Pièce d'Orgue in 1712 when he was in Weimar. This piece harkens to the French Baroque. Johann Sebastian Bach really admired the music of Nicolas de Grigny, who was the penultimate French Baroque organist living at the time. Bach actually copied his manuscripts to learn from Nicolas de Grigny. The opening part, it's in 3 sections, the très vitement, very fast, quick, actually more of a toccata, like his early toccatas. So very quick, fast-moving passages in the keyboard, just for keyboard. And then the second part, the gravement, which means very heavy, harkens to the French Baroque music in 5 parts. It's very polyphonic, so using the full sounds of the organ, plenum and reeds. So very heavy, very grand. It's used many in processions oftentimes. And then the third part, the lentement, harkens to the French Baroque harpsichord writing of Louis Couperin, very quick passaggio writing for the hands. The next composer is an American, Craig Phillips. Craig Phillips resides as the director of music at All Saints Beverly Hills, and it's a big Episcopal church in the heart of Beverly Hills. He's been there most of his career. We were actually students at the Eastman School of Music in Rochester, New York together. He's become a very prolific composer. He won the Los Angeles chapter of the American Guild of Organists Composition Prize with this piece, Fantasy on Torah Song. This is based on a Hasidic melody, which would be sung in a Jewish synagogue, a Reformed synagogue, as the Torah is being taken out of the case and processed around the synagogue for the people to see the Torah as before it's been read in the service in Shabbat. Ken Uckel, for many years, was at Trinity Lutheran Church in Akron, Ohio, where he served as the director of music and organist. His wife is very famous. His wife's name is Pamela Decker, who's a famous composer for the organ, who's a professor at the University of Arizona. Ken Uckel actually gave me this piece when I premiered one of his wife's pieces, Pamela Decker's pieces, and it's a very beautiful piece. I actually recorded it at Rockefeller Chapel down south in Hyde Park. It's a very quiet, short piece, utilizing the solo flute, the 4-foot flute, which you'll hear. It's with a tremolo accompanied by the strings of the organ. The last piece on the program was premiered by myself at the San Francisco Convention of the American Guild of Organists just this last summer at St. Mark's Episcopal in Berkeley. I commissioned Jessica, a Seattle composer, to write this piece to highlight the Baroque organ there at St. Mark's, Berkeley. It's based on the Gregorian chant Panja Lingua, transformation. So it transforms this Gregorian chant in many ways. It begins very quietly with the flute stops of the organ, then goes into a very full organ sound with the pedal playing the melodic line, the Gregorian chant. And then she puts the Gregorian chant still again in the pedal with a toccata. So it's a rousing way to end the program with a toccata based on Panja Lingua. Jessica French was educated at Indiana University and Yale University. She was the associate musician at Trinity Wall Street in New York. And now she hails in Seattle. She works in Seattle at a big church and does a lot of compositions, and they've been premiered throughout the world. She's getting a lot of notoriety. I'm very proud of her music and her as a person. Thank you again for coming.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you have time, please do stay. We have a visiting choir from Eden Prairie here today who is going to perform for us for a little bit. So they'll be doing about 20, 25 minutes worth of music. We'd love to have a wonderful audience.